Hey, welcome to video 2. So if you have not watched the first video, watch the first video because this is going to be different than what you did in the first video. So first video, we took a whole number and we divided it into fraction pieces, right? This video, we're starting with a fraction and dividing by a whole number. So on paper with the algorithm, that shouldn't freak you out at all. Same thing, um, keep change flip, top times top, bottom times bottom before it's time to say goodbye. Don't forget to simplify. With the picture, basically that's where it's going to look a little bit different because on the last one we were talking candy bar math. This is no longer candy bar math. Now we have to actually like take a look at what we're doing. So basically if you're looking at it, the dashes is the cut that they're making. That's the dividing. All right, so the dash line is the dividing. What they're saying basically is they started off with 1/2. So what you have to do is you have to delete this dash line in your brain. So go blah, 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 delete it. All right. So that's not there. So basically, this rectangle, this whole rectangle is one whole. All right. And then it has this slice in the middle, which means this part is 1/2 and this part is 1/2. You know what? I'm gonna draw this because even I am confusing myself right now. All right. So let's say this is one whole, right? That's what we're starting off with. So we're not paying attention to this middle line or this dash line. All right. So this is our one whole. It's not pretty, but it'll do. Okay, so that's what we're looking at is 1, right? Okay, so now what's going to happen is in our problem, we don't have just a rectangle. In fact, oops, we have a rectangle that kind of looks like a domino because it's got this line in the middle. All right, so basically it's got this solid line in the middle. What they've done is they've cut this one hole into this is a half and this is a half. Obviously, put two halves together and you have a hole. So now we are looking at a rectangle that's been cut into 1/2, two halves. All right. So one whole altogether, this whole thing is one whole, but also this part is 1/2. This part is 1/2. So if you put half and half together, once again, you get one whole. All right. So the problem that they have here is 1/2 divided into two pieces. And they said that that equals 1/4 piece. All right. So let's see what they're talking about here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this 1/2. All right. So we're just going to pick one of our halves, all right? And then what they said to do is they said to cut that in half. The reason why on this one the dash line goes all the way down is they just cut the whole thing in half, all right? So, but really what we're focusing on, what we want to look at to make sure that we have our answer is we just want to look at the half that we have being cut into two pieces, all right? So there is the half and then we are cutting it into two pieces. That's what we did with the red dash lines, right? All right, so if this is one whole, if the whole rectangle is one whole, now we know that it is cut into one, two, three, four pieces. So this is a fourth, this is a fourth, this is a fourth, and this is a fourth. What this question is asking is how much is the value of just one of those pieces? And the value of one of those pieces is in fact 1/4. All right. So when you're dividing a decimal by a whole number, your answer is going to look slightly different than it did before. When we divided a whole number into a fraction, I don't know why I said decimal a second ago. When we divided a whole number by a fraction or into fractional pieces, that was the candy bar math, right? So if I did 2 divided into half-size pieces, that would be you take two whole things and you cut them into half-size pieces, which gives you 1, 2, 3, 4 things, right? So 2 divided into half-size pieces will give you 4 pieces. Now this one is 1/2 divided into two pieces. So what we're doing is we're taking that half and we're dividing it into two. So if we did, let's just do the algorithm. 1/2 divided by 2/1. Remember, any whole number becomes a fraction with a 1 as the denominator. Then let's do keep change flip, keep the first fraction the same, change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and flip the second fraction by putting the bottom number denominator on top and then putting the numerator on the bottom. 1 times 1, top times top is 1. Bottom times bottom, 2 times 2 is 4. That's a unit fraction. with a 1 in the numerator position. So that is simplified. So we get the same answer. We got 1/4 with both the algorithm and with the picture. I will say moving on to the algorithm is probably going to be the best idea because the picture form of cutting a fraction into whole number pieces, obviously it looks a little different. Um, it's a lot more to read because you have to figure out why or which of the cuts were already made, like the solid line cut on here. That one was already made, which made this a half and this a half. This is a half and this is a half. And then them cutting the halves into two pieces. So they cut this half into two pieces. They cut this half into two pieces. One, two, one, two. And so each one of those pieces would be 1/4. Each piece has a value of 1/4. Here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. And remember, 4/4 would be a whole. And that's what you're looking at. So if we took 1/2 and divided it into two pieces, you would have 1/4 piece left over. All right. Um, and once again, your your algorithm is going to be the best thing for you. So remember, keep change flip. All right, keep change flip, and it works both ways. Just remember, if you're dividing a whole number into fraction pieces, that's the candy bar math. But if you're dividing a fraction into whole number pieces, that's when you're finding out how much one piece is worth, not how many pieces you have in total. So on the last exercise, when we divided a whole number into fraction pieces, that told us how many pieces we had in total. When we divide a fraction into whole number pieces, that tells us the value of one piece. One piece was valued at 1/4. When we divided two wholes into halves, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So make sure you realize that when you're dividing a whole number into fraction pieces, you're looking for how many pieces there are in total. When you take a fraction and divide it into whole number pieces, the answer you get is how big one piece is. All right. So if we took a half and divided it into two pieces, our piece would be 1/4. All right. If we took two and divided it into halves, we would have four pieces. So once again, I hope you have a successful activity today. Basically, you're using the stems. I notice that there is a picture form and a numerical form equation of the same problem. They are the same because they represent 1/2 being split into two pieces. They are different because one is an equation using numbers and one is a picture using lines. And I wonder how how efficient is the picture method for dividing fractions? Or I wonder, is the algorithm easier to use? Or I wonder why we do the picture part, or how often the picture part will come up on tests, things like that. Those are good wonderings. So use all the stems if you want all the credit. If you're using one stem, you may not be getting all your credit. So definitely check your feedback too. All right, so I think that's it. Happy Asynchronous Wednesday. I hope you have all the success today. Talk to your teachers if you have any questions, and I will talk to you later. Bye.